Madelyne and Lindsey, welcome to the Scroll Sessions podcast. We're excited to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. So we would love to just have you guys introduce yourselves, and maybe we'll start with Madelyne, then go to Lindsey. But Madelyne, introduce yourself, what you're currently doing, and maybe explain a little bit of how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, sure. Gosh, that's like a much longer story. We could like take up the whole thing.
We have a couple hours.
Okay, so I was born, no, I'm just kidding. Madelyne Van Hoff, current CEO of ShareHouse. And ShareHouse is a community. Do you want to talk about ShareHouse a little bit? So ShareHouse is at its core an e-commerce community. We do a lot more than that, but we'll talk about it in a minute. I've done a lot in my career. I feel like I've lived several past lives, but I worked in private equity a bit. I have another company called Tangible School that I started with a few crazies. We can talk about them in a minute. I have worked in traditional marketing. I've worked on the agency side. I have my own agency with my husband. I worked in corporate events for 5 years. I lived in LA and New York. So there's a lot here. I've kind of had to reinvent myself a few times, but
okay. Well,
awesome.
between LA, New York, and Utah, rate them
man.
1 through 3.
Ooh. I don't know. I feel like my heart is in New York. This is like pre-COVID New York. Okay. So my heart's in New York. Man,
it didn't
that place
stink as bad.
It just like, it's
still stinky.
It's the most horrible smelling place ever. But gosh, I like love that about it now.
Yeah.
It's just like, that place like changed me. It was very transformative for my life. It opened my eyes in different ways, and it's a true melting pot. There's just people from all over, and I mean that's like a holy experience
for sure.
life. I also got married in New York, but my husband's a mountain man, so we
came back to Utah.
But then I also just love the beach, and so it just depends. I'm one of those people who can make happy wherever. Very adaptable. I've had some really hard life experience in my growing up formative years, and so I think that kind of made me into who I am. I mean, you make happy, right? You make happy where you are. Yep. Everything is what you make it.
It's a choice for sure.
It's a choice. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And Lindsey.
Hi. So I'm Lindsey Ivy. I'm COO of ShareHouse. I just came on 2 months ago. But I've been building community for the last 5 years. It started back with the launch of Ivy League. So my husband and I were running that.
Which is such
cool.
Your last
so
name.
Good.
I can't
so
do
good.
anything with Hickenlooper, but
we better
Ivy
get
League,
an invite.
Come on.
We better get an
good.
invite after
John
this.
is good
That's all I'm
copy.
saying.
He's very good. He's a wordsmith. So that was where we started. There was just a lot of what you do in like a service-based company.
Yeah.
You're building relationships. So that's where I kind of started doing this like guerrilla marketing, crazy events.
Will you define guerrilla marketing too for
yeah, so it's just like bootstrappy type of way of marketing, and it's outside the norm of like your typical like SEO, PPC. For me, what that meant was like this is back in 2018 when like video wasn't really a thing on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And so I caught that trend. So I was like, oh, I could do a video on this platform. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so it started with like me and another person. We were standing outside of Topgolf. We're like, hey, we're going to do Topgolf Tuesday. We started like this hashtag.
And Topgolf was new.
Yeah.
And it was new. So it was like, it was a thing. So we started with that video. And what we did, we just found a bunch of companies that had a pass, like a membership to Topgolf. And we just stacked the bays so we could fit like 5 bays together. People met together. It started with 5 people and it grew to 70 over the course of like a few weeks, just from like the posting. Every time we did the event, we'd post about it, and then just like word spread, and to the point where we eventually got kicked out of Topgolf. They like caught on to what we were doing.
That's guerrilla marketing.
Which is crazy. Why would they kick you out?
You have to get kicked out to like be official.
Yeah.
To put your stamp on it.
Which is crazy. You're bringing them so much business. Why would they kick you out?
It's short-sighted, but it's okay.
True.
But then from there, we actually did Ivy Breakfast League. So we did the breakfast from our house.
That's pretty cool.
We did that it was actually every Friday. John would make his homemade buttermilk pancakes, and people would sit around our table. And it's just like such a cool experience to like
that's different.
Share a meal together in that way.
That's not normal for business owners or
especially in
people
somebody's
business
home.
to do.
Yeah.
especially in your home, let alone, right?
It was a tight fit.
Yeah.
Then we did a big brunch in our backyard, and then from there it's just like, then I started just getting pulled into like marketing other people's events.
Yeah.
People brought us on a retainer. I wasn't really thinking I was like an events marketing person, but it just was so natural for me that I kind of got pulled in to a lot of things that way. Like last year I helped Pattern market their event
Accelerate
in the
event.
Consumer Summit.
Oh yeah, you got me tickets to that.
And you've helped
You helped
with,
market it. So
didn't you help with Silicon Slopes too, the summit and everything?
I ran
as well?
the volunteers, not this year, but last year. So that was
we attended that. Yeah, we were there.
That was a little
event.
crazy.
I will say
was
when
nutty.
Lindsay Ivy is walking around Silicon Slopes, it's like
It's a big deal.
I dressed
whoa.
up. Oh, there's another. So I dressed up as Waldo
Oh, that's
at
awesome.
Silicon Slopes, and I did Where's Lindsay. So I did give like these huge giveaways with that hashtag. It
That's
was like,
epic.
hey, follow. If you find me, take a picture with me.
Yeah.
You can win. Like I got a bunch of companies on board, so they were giving away like trips and like
oh,
swag.
cool.
That's so fun.
Scott Paul was a part
Yeah,
of it.
Didn't
Nice.
Scott dress up as Waldo at some
He
point
dressed
too?
up as
Or somebody else?
Forrest Gump
He's always in a
or
costume.
something like that. I think
There's
it's Forrest Gump.
something with
So I
Scott in
got him
costumes.
chocolate from Mrs. Kavanaugh, so he was handing out chocolate.
That's
at-
This is guerrilla marketing. You
This
guys.
is
There you
yes.
This
Made a
is
great
it. All
decision
of
with
this.
the COO.
Just
I know.
really scrappy stuff.
I'm like,
which
man,
is
maybe
fun.
we should dress up as Where's Waldo for this conference we're going to. in a
I
few
know,
weeks.
but it was great when it was so massive, right? Because then I had a picture taken from like afar out, and then I did on social media, find me in this picture, and then it was just kind of fun
I
and
love it.
interactive.
It's super cool.
But
Well,
yeah, just been doing a lot of kind of scrappy marketing for different groups. over
Which
the
is
last
so
few
cool
years.
because it's outside the box, and in the space we're in, we're so analytical and we work on just the boring stuff, right? PPC
Yeah.
campaigns, SEO, websites.
I wasn't trying to like knock that.
No, but there's a place
No,
for
there-
both.
yeah,
There's a,
100%.
you need both, like
Yeah.
for sure. So
Blended
Yep.
strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
have failed over and over with our guerrilla marketing or our unique brand approach. And I think
Mm.
that this year, Dan and I in January sat down and we were like, we're dedicating 25% of our time to creating content, no matter what kind of content it is. And it's already done wonders
Yeah.
for our business. And we haven't even launched things like the podcast or, so unique approach, I think, is so critical. And you have done such a good job of it.
Yes, definitely.
I've seen it on
'Cause
LinkedIn.
we
over and
know you
over.
without ever having met both of you. So you've
Yeah.
done a good
That's the
job. You know what I
trick.
mean?
Yeah. that's
And
the-
I'm saying we need an invite to the pancake breakfast. That's all I'm going to
still do it?
say.
Oh, well, we are. So we did launch under ShareHouse. We're doing the Skynet Syndicate.
Oh,
What is this?
Whoa. Hello, Skynet Syndicate. Let's talk about that
You
for a
wanna
second.
join?
So it's a strategic partner group for people who are in the e-commerce space.
Very cool.
So the idea is you get a group together where there's not too much overlap, or someone's hitting the need of like a certain service
Yep.
or tech need in the space. You bring that group together once a month. We collaborate.
Mastermind.
We connect people to each other.
So hopefully you're not
Um,
having competitors get together and
Yeah, so we're trying to be strategic that way, where it's like it's a big enough group. We have like 40 people in the group so far, but obviously not everyone shows up once a month. We do pancakes. So last time John
Fun.
did his pancakes, but now we're doing it at ShareHouse.
Yeah.
So
Very,
yeah.
very cool.
that's awesome. And to get some more understanding of, well, I'd love to talk about a few pieces of ShareHouse and Tangible School, but also understanding LinkedIn and why you feel like it's so beneficial for professionals. Because I think that could be kind of a theme that we run with on the podcast is, what benefit have you seen from LinkedIn? Why do you feel like it's a valuable platform? I'd love to ask both of you that. But
Well, you can start on the tangible side.
You want me to
'cause
talk tangible and ShareHouse a little
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, what do you want to know? Just the beginning?
yeah,
Yeah.
so the thing that I'm interested in with Tangible School is just that it was a break off from traditional. So I dropped out of school and
Yeah.
kind of went anti-school. I was like, no way, I hate this. I don't feel that way. Like, I respect it. But what brought up Tangible School? Why did you guys want to start it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely some of that in Scott and Travis. And so, it's me, Scott Paul, Travis Chambers, Rachel Nilsson, and Stefan Vandegraff.
Which is like a powerhouse.
Yeah. It's
Crazy.
Like the
I mean, it's
amazing-
like they're all very entrepreneurial and I'm like the executor. And
Yeah.
so it was a little bit of herding cats in the best way possible.
Yeah,
So
that
you
is
did
quite
everything
the group
then,
to
pretty
herd.
No,
much.
I can't
that's
take
quite
credit
the
for
group to
everything.
herd.
But yeah, it is. I mean, I get asked all the time, like, how did you handle working with like
Those
all of the
personalities.
most ADD people I know
No
at
kidding.
the same time? No, actually, it was like the most fun ever. I mean, that was a powerhouse team. I think that like timing was maybe our issue. Just with like some things that were happening in our personal lives as well as all of us, but as well as just COVID. I mean,
Yeah,
that was
COVID came
that,
in and just
yeah, that
really
changed the game
disrupted
for us
everything.
for sure. No, I think that theme was definitely there under the surface. That you don't necessarily have to go and go through a traditional program. I mean, Scott said several times, like, everything that we teach at Tangible is more than I learned in my MBA. He loved his MBA, but he loved it because of the connection. And so that was kind of one of the things. It's like, let's provide really good education and also connection. And so it evolved to be a true accelerator. I mean, think Y Combinator.
Yeah,
but,
just for Silicon Slopes.
Right. But for e-commerce, for direct to consumer companies.
Yeah.
And so we had multiple stages. So if you were like very early stage, or if you had some traction and needed kind of some help getting over some humps, then you would come through one of our programs, and you'd come in with a goal, whether it was validate your product idea or validate your next several product ideas and get them to market, or double your revenue in the 10 weeks that you're there, or find an investor. We helped companies do that. And there were several companies actually went through Tangible pre-launch, and I would say that we were part of that kind of launch and go to market for them. I mean, Gab Wireless is one of them. They came to us before they ever had a product.
Wow.
Durai Home had just launched, I think, their first Kickstarter. Goby Kids had like a product and was just trying to get it out to market. Now they're in Target and Costco. And
It's really, really cool.
And
So these
and
were
Sam's
brands you
and-
worked with at Tangible, not necessarily students.
Yeah, they were
Oh.
brands, very much so. But I mean, some people would come through with just an idea in our early stage group. They just had an idea. It was just like one person with
How do I execute this?
a really cool
Mhm.
idea, but maybe they needed to validate it, because sometimes you have a product that is a great idea, but and then there's probably good market fit, but not for the price it's going to cost you to
to make
build
it.
it, get it here, and sell it. You know, and even if you order a ton, it's sometimes you cannot get the price low enough. I mean, that's like a very heartbreaking position, but
For sure.
you want to learn before you actually spend $75,000 to like
In your
get the
inventory.
tooling done or whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
And then get inventory. Anyway, so we could talk all day about Tangible School, but Tangible was so fun, and we had a lot of traction in the first 9 months. We actually took on a funding partner March 1st of 2020, and then 2 weeks later everything shut down.
Yeah.
So
'cause everything
we
just-
had
March 1st.
March 1st of 2020, and then
So
we
you had 15 days.
we literally had 2
basically.
weeks, yep. And then
gosh.
we had 1,000 students scheduled to go through the program that year that we had to refund. And so
Oh,
it was just every cohort,
wow.
like, oh, so sorry, like
Can't
we'll
do this.
refund you, and hopefully we can reschedule you for a later date. And then it was just cohort after cohort until September, when we kind of hit pause on Tangible. And so we actually do have a lot of the content that lives in an online format. And that's one of the things that we're going to be pulling into
Working-
ShareHouse
Working on
and
that.
opening up an education offering. So ShareHouse is somewhat of a spin-off of some of the magic of Tangible. I mean, some of the things that we saw that went well, and the community element.
Yeah.
And so some of what and who we are today has definitely stemmed
Still there.
from those Tangible days. But we're not an accelerator, at least not today. And I don't know that we have
Yeah.
plans to be,
Mhm.
but what we are, I mean, we sit perfectly between service providers, technology teams, and vendors, and brands, founders, anyone from the CEO all the way down to the intern. And so what we're really
Connecting
good at,
everybody.
exactly, what we're really good at is aligning ourselves with those brand founders and their teams and connecting them to really good resources. And
Yeah.
so we can connect them to really good funding partners, vetted service providers, technology teams, and vendors, great education.
And blow them up with guerrilla marketing.
Yes, recruiting opportunities, and then access to very exclusive founders only events that we call Only Brands.
Mm.
And so one of the
Levi.
I don't know why you're
remember
laughing.
seeing
Oh.
Why are you
Levi
laughing?
Lindsay's.
What?
It's because of your guerrilla marketing with Levi. I love it. No, Levi's a good friend of
yes,
ours.
he's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
that
just
was-
seen his videos on LinkedIn.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Well,
just
we
too
we
good.
approached him with that. We're like,
can you be the face of this? We can't be the face of it. That's sleazy.
Yeah.
But if we pull someone in who's like comedic,
yeah.
you know,
And
not
he
too
is
good
Mr.
looking,
Comedy.
good looking, but not too good looking, right? Sorry, Levi.
Oh, I love it. I think he
Levi,
would
you're the most
own
handsome
that,
person I've ever met.
100%.
Yeah, good looking, but not too good looking. And then just, bring this kind of lighthearted element to traditional unboxings, product unboxings.
Yeah.
And so it's under the Only Brands, I guess umbrella, there is the product undressings.
Yes. Which is very cool.
Which is fun. It's really fun, just kind of play on the brand. So there's ShareHouse, and then we have Only Brands underneath, and then we have Skynet Syndicate, and then we'll have Tangible School and several other things that we'll be rolling out. But we want to be the authority in the e-commerce space. We want people to think of us and need to work with us if they're in e-commerce, no matter what stage of business development they're at.
Right. That reminds me a little bit of Pattern, where Pattern initially was that business, and still to this day, but they fit a very specific niche, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they say, hey, if you are in e-comm and you're selling on Amazon or Walmart doing $5 million a year, right? You're hitting all these objectives. Then they say, then come work with Pattern, and we have the tools and resources to blow you up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really cool approach. And then with Lindsey, do you have a lot of background in e-comm, or is it more tech and SaaS that you have a background in?
Not as much in e-comm. Interestingly enough, like I had a short stint with a technology provider in the space, and then I did the marketing for 2 big e-commerce events.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
Can you talk about those?
With Accelerate.
Yeah, so I helped with Accelerate, and we're actually helping this year under ShareHouse help market that as well.
Awesome.
So I helped them last year, and then I helped with the Consumer Summit. So they were 2 first-year events. And as you know, like
first-year events are tough.
Really tough, and we sold out both of them.
Accelerate was phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's a lot of, I think that speaking on the event side, a lot of times people are just like, there's so many different touch points, but like the conversion comes from like the personal messaging.
100%.
And that's the hardest thing, is like people think, oh my gosh, like all I have to do is like reshare this and like get other people to reshare. I'm like, do you know how many hundreds of direct messages, if not
you have to
thousands, that I've sent?
Yeah.
Because you have to understand, I think, identifying a need and like connecting is a sell.
It's 100% a sell. I was the marketing director for Everything Food Conference back when it started a couple years ago, National Food Conference for bloggers, and it was our first year.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
It's tough.
First year events are rough.
Yeah. So it's for me, I'm a pretty determined person. So I think what helps is like if I go back a few years, this is probably one of the craziest events I've done, and I don't know anything about cybersecurity, but I launched the Cybercraft Summit during COVID.
Wow.
We got summit during COVID.
Yeah,
and
during
you know nothing about cybersecurity.
Was this with Nexus?
No, this was I pulled in the director of cybersecurity over at IHC.
Okay.
So it was just
so really cool though.
2 of us.
Wow.
And so we got 40 speakers.
Wow.
Frank Cassie was one of them. He's the guy who took down Bernie Madoff.
Oh wow!
So it was
really cool. I think I saw him in the Bernie Madoff documentary.
Yeah.
I think
it's crazy. So it was really a cool story.
I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but I don't know who's Bernie Madoff.
He's like
one of the biggest Ponzi schemes
schemes
ever.
Oh, really? Okay.
So he's
like a
the
Wall
guy.
Street Ponzi.
I have seen something like this.
No, you're good. Yeah, I'm glad you asked, because some people might not know that one. But we were able in 3 months to like launch the website, get 40 speakers,
and sell that
during COVID. We got
out.
2,500 people to attend virtually.
Oh wow!
And it came from like, there's just a matter of like obsession. I think that you have to be obsessed about what you're doing. And it sounds crazy, but you have to fully believe that it's going to work out, and you put every like all your energy into that. And people like feed off that energy. If they can feed off that your why and like what you're doing in that energy, like they're gonna buy into it. But if it's like, hey, I'm throwing this on so I can get a bunch of leads and like grow my business, I'm like, screw that. Like you have to do it for the people.
Yeah.
It's like, what would they want? Like, why would they show up to something? And then you build around that. So you don't make it about you.
Yeah.
I think
you make it about people.
Accelerate did such a good job of that, because we went and sat down at a table, and
You're
I'm
immediately
like,
connected with everybody. It was really
I
cool.
sat down thinking, I don't know who I'm going to be around, and are these e-com brands
Yeah.
or who are these? And the first 4 people we sat next to owned multi-million-dollar e-commerce brands, and they weren't even from Utah. Like, they had flown in to come to this
Oh, yeah.
conference and had paid for it. So I thought, wow, that's a pretty good indicator that this is a successful conference, that we're having these brands fly in to say, I want to hear more about what I can do to make my brand better.
Yeah, Burke and Emily and Mike, the whole pattern team, they're amazing. And they do a really good job of like, I think that was one of the best events last year, in my opinion, like with what they produced and and they just were so thoughtful about every aspect of it. So it's just, we're incredibly grateful to work with them this year as well. So
And I think it really comes down to like making that event personal for every single person. I learned that like very, I guess right away with Everything Food Conference. Like we made it about the bloggers. We made it about them having their food. These are food people. So they are food photographers. They're food lovers. We had everything was like hardcore fine dining, catered, custom. I mean, it was, you have to make it about the people and their experience 100%.
Well, I always say, like stop chasing your customers or your partners or whoever it is that you're trying to convert and start chasing what it is that they care about.
Yes.
Because that desperate energy of like chasing your customer, like they don't like it. It doesn't land well anyway.
It's going to turn off.
It's a huge turn off anyway. And so why don't you just figure out what it is that they care about and chase that?
Yep.
And so, I mean, it's a constant, it's a balancing act because, you find yourself in positions where you're almost having to chase that customer, but we really try to rein ourselves back and say, this is who we are. This is what we offer. It's okay that not everybody likes us.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to land with everybody. So let's find the people who we will land with, especially in startup. It's hard. Like there are times where we're like, is this going to work? Is this element going to work? Should we pivot on this? And it's like, no. We just haven't given it enough time.
Yeah.
We don't have enough brand recognition in certain spaces for people to totally buy in right out the gate yet.
Yeah.
And so that social proofing is really good. But
so what is your background before Tangible with e-comm? Because you are so knowledgeable about the space. And have you owned a consumer product company before? Do you still own one, or have you worked for
actually
one?
That's so funny. I didn't bring that up, but yeah, I do own one with my husband. It's really small because I've been chasing a lot of other bigger fish, but it still exists. And yeah, it's really fun. It's just of course, like I said, my husband's an outdoorsman. So it's an outdoor recreation clothing company or apparel company. And it's called Thousand Peaks Co. And that's, it's there. It exists. It still has inventory and we still sell.
And did you do e-comm at all before Tangible?
I worked with a lot of companies. And so I worked in agency. And so I got to work with lots of different companies, but I always loved the product companies. I mean, those are the ones that are so much fun to market because there's a physical product. They're in the lifestyle space. You're taking a physical product and the brand that is wrapped around it and trying to humanize that brand, because people nowadays, like, why do you buy the brands that you buy? Why do you wear the clothes that you wear? Like, it resonates with you in some way, right? Like you buy into like the bigger idea of what that brand represents, right?
Yeah.
Because who says that like this sweater is any nicer than any other sweater that I could have gotten from all of their competitors?
Yeah.
So it's just this brand resonates with me. And so I buy their products. Yeah. It's not always about price or whatever, right? Yep. It's about those like intangibles.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like Liquid Death came in and just said like, see, they just wanted to prove it to everyone that brand is everything.
Yeah.
And
is the only thing at the end of the day. Because it's
especially
water.
In some spaces. Yes, that's so true. Especially in some spaces where it's like, super saturated. And at the end of the day, they're a dime a dozen. The products are very, very similar. Yep. It's a pure branding play. I mean, think about like, what's a good one in our space? Like there's tons of supplement companies in Utah. Like Mixers is a good one. That Mixers is killing it.
Their brand position is amazing.
There are several other competitors, not only in the country, in the world, but in this market, in this valley that compete head to head with Mixers. What is Mixers doing different? It's a pure branding play. And it's also just being the genius that she is, getting in front of this brand and being aspirational for women.
Yep.
She knows who her customer is, and she knows that she can, essentially use her life and her experience and kind of take people on this journey with her and show a little bit of that, peel back the curtain and show that. And that is so aspirational for a lot of women that are customers of hers.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
founder-led brands kill it. They really do. Like brands that can attach these kind of the whatever personal aspiration, personality to a person, it's good. It will go forever, right? Because it's so much more relatable at the end of the day. And that goes for D2C, that goes for B2B. And I think we're starting to see it majorly in B2B the last like couple of years, where I think it's always kind of been part of like D2C CPG brands, but now it's like hitting the B2B space and people are realizing like, I just can't post some stupid lead magnet and get leads that way.
Which kind of
like,
worked in like 2012, 2014 for some reason.
It did. But now like you have to have a face.
Well, I think it's because everyone's getting it's hit up at every angle, getting pitched at, seeing ads.
Yeah.
So you need to humanize the brand. So the companies that do that, even on the SaaS side, like I think they thrive.
Yeah,
100%.
No, I totally agree. One of my favorite entrepreneurs that has inspired me more than anyone is Sarah Blakely.
And Sarah's amazing.
Just because, and I love her husband, Jesse, too, and their dynamic. I just worship it. I think it's the coolest thing. But Sarah, self-made billionaire, started her business with $5,000, and it's Spanx, right? It's this unique product where now there's a lot of copycats out there, but she still represents the company from age 30 to 55. She's going to represent that company. And I've just always admired her for that and thought that she's done an exceptional job there. So
she has, for sure.
As far as the growth of ShareHouse, what kind of brands do you want to work with? Because for example, Pattern, they have a very specific group of people they work with. They put them into their system. ShareHouse, what kind of brands do you guys want to work with?
So we don't have quite as narrow of an ICP as Pattern. We're trying to be a little more inclusive. And so really anyone can join, even if you're just, in the idea phase. But as far as like the companies that we try to align with and provide really good resources to, there needs to be some traction there. And I don't know that there's necessarily a number that I can tie to that, but we define traction as, not just like an interesting product that has had some financial traction, but possibly like an interesting product or an interesting company that has an interesting product or an interesting business model or an interesting marketing strategy or interesting funding or founders that have had an interesting story, right?
Yeah.
Like we're trying to curate this really great community of founders who can learn and grow and share together. There's going to be upward and downward mentorship. Maybe a good example too, like, so we have these Only Brands events. They're invitation only. You have to have your name on the list. It's kind of like an if you know situation.
Yeah.
And they're high end, they're VIP. We have been doing them in this market where we are expanding to the LA Orange County market, and then San Francisco, New York City, Austin, Miami, and so forth. So if I take like a snapshot of who was at the event, one of the events we just had, I would say every founder in the room was doing close to 10 million or more, but most of them were doing closer to 20 and above.
Yeah.
So
really
it's
cool.
a very interesting group of people.
For sure.
And that doesn't get together very often and really share and learn from each other. And that's where the true magic happens. Getting them in a room where there's not a bunch of service providers and technology teams pitching them. And they're able to just share and kind of feel that safety. Yeah. It changes the dynamic completely.
Why do you feel like, I guess, maybe those founders don't talk to each other very often? I'm kind of getting that vibe. We're definitely more the B2B space. We don't handle e-comm that often, but I guess I'm getting that kind of vibe from
I think it's a combination of things. It's probably, I think they all have their own crew, their own little like lunch group that they have, a couple founders. But they're heads down. Yeah. They have to like balance sharing and protecting what it is that they're doing. There's just a lot of competition, right? Yeah. And so I think we're all in that space. It doesn't matter if you're in e-comm or elsewhere. Like there's just a balancing act. I feel like maybe I've just been around the block enough that it's like, I want to play with my competitors. I want to know who they are.
For sure.
I want to be friends. It's okay if we compete. It's okay if we're going after the same people, like all day long. There's enough fish in the sea.
100%.
And we can be creative. Like that just challenges us to be creative in different ways and to be better. Exactly. And so, but it is hard. It's really hard. And in certain spaces, like you see people that are taking each other's ideas, and it's hard. It's really hard. I get it.
I mean, Indie Blue is a great example of, she runs an awesome company, has all these slogans she puts on her apparel, and there's a ton of other companies that have kind of spun off because of Indie Blue that also kill it. Yeah. And they're usually influencer backed companies, right? They'll create an apparel brand, market it like Indie Blue, and put similar phrases on. And there's enough fish in the sea. It might be a different approach. And to me, I'm sure Indie Blue and those people probably collaborate every now and then. As far as ShareHouse and your guys' story, so obviously you have what you do, but what you preach is that it's more important to have like a brand, who you are, and why you do what you do. Can you give us some insight into who you are and why you do what you do, and more than just, here's what we do?
I can touch on, I know I've been here a shorter amount of time than you, but for me, what interested me was, first off, like Madelyne and I are very aligned in how we do business and how we've spent the last few years, like in a lot of ways, kind of in the background, like building other people up.
And you're both working moms too.
And we're working moms, which is a whole crazy part of it as well.
Yes, no kidding.
So I, for me as a working mom, and I think Madelyne can relate to this as well, is like, I have to pay for someone to watch my kids, right? Yep. I'm not going to do a 9-to-5 job where I sit in an office and I'm miserable to do something I'm not passionate about.
When you're spending time away from your kids.
When I'm spending time. So it has to be something very impactful for me, something where I am making a difference. So that's why I've spent so much of my time helping lift others and connect others. I find a lot of value in like connecting the dots. Even when I'm just highlighting people looking for jobs, if I'm connecting someone who's like, hey, I'm looking for someone who does this. And Madelyne does a great job of that as well. And how rad is it that we get to, like, what we're building is that essentially. So what we're building is like a way to bring people together and help lift the community, providing resources, for doing what we do well and what we love doing. And that's what we're creating and growing.
That's amazing.
But that's exactly right. I mean, I couldn't have said it better. Yeah. We have both, I mean, unbeknownst to each other, kind of been running parallel in different direction, or in different roles or in different situations, helping build other people's businesses. I mean, that's what Tangible was, right? And even before that, that was my entire career. And so now we just started a business to continue doing that. Yeah.
Just
but this
together,
time it's our
you
business.
just joined. You just joined forces.
Yeah.
I like it. So explain. I guess you're the COO. You're the CEO. I'm also the COO. He's the CEO. I feel like,
and we're matching.
And we're matching.
Family
so there's that.
But, this was on purpose.
I'm curious. Why do you two complement each other? What are some different skills that you obviously?
I can't wait to see if it's the same as what.
I guess I know.
I'm curious if it's the same combination of us.
So I'm like the gunslinger. I am just the crazy out there, try things, move really fast. And what I'm not awesome at is like organization and like structure, which is ironic because I'm the
like the COO. It's the exact opposite of us.
But it's just like I move fast.
Yeah.
And I need someone to like,
ground
check.
Ya.
Yeah, ground me.
But I would never guess that, because you put on these amazing events that require a lot of attention to detail
and a lot of organization.
I think
maybe it's other people.
No, actually, I do.
Yeah.
I do. So it doesn't. It's like from the outside, you're like, oh, that's well organized. That's good. But it's like
you don't see all the behind the scenes.
I've got 4 kids, 7 to 1. So I think I live in chaos. So I thrive
in chaos.
Yeah, organized chaos.
It would, if someone stepped into that, they'd probably go crazy. They're like, how in the freak are you doing all this?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I'm just doing what I do. I have to, when I get a call at 1 o'clock and like my kid needs to be picked up, and then I have to like restructure or like reschedule meetings. And then that happens probably once or twice a week, where it's like, that's where we thrive, I think, in events, because like, it's honestly chaos, and you have to like
chaos. 10,000 children.
Stuff happens.
Stuff happens. You have to be able to be quick on your feet and like move fast. And I think that's where it comes together, and from the outside looks well polished.
Yeah, you have to
but it's
herd,
not.
you have to herd 500 people from this
not on the
place
inside
to another.
But I'm
whatever,
curious what your
No,
thoughts
she's
are.
not giving herself enough credit. She's more organized than she lets on. But no, I'm the one who comes in and is very, very strategic. So she's like, okay, we're running 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I'm like, yes, I'm keeping up. But then there are some times, like we have a situation right now where we had a very interesting conversation. And I'm like, there is a bigger opportunity here.
Mhm.
We need to like hit pause, pull it back, like really think deeply about what this could be and create a bigger pitch for this specific partner.
Yeah.
And so, Lindsey is like here and now, and she can see into the future, and maybe I am staring into the future too far. So we are very complementary in that way.
That's cool.
I get very frustrated when I'm bogged down in the day-to-day, and she thrives in that.
Mhm.
And so I really want to live high level, and I want to see North Star, and I want to be the one that's charting the course towards it and dragging the team. Hey, let's stay on course, stay on course. And I love to have all the idea people around me. Lindsey's incredible with that. It's like, well, what if we did this? What if we did this? I mean, she's very strategic as well. And then I'm really good at wrangling all that and saying, well,
let's drag
this
it
doesn't
way.
necessarily lead us to the North Star. So
Yeah.
let's put this outside. Let's focus on these 3 things. These 3 things are getting us to our North Star. So I don't
really
know.
like that.
I mean, we've had to be everything though. Lots of hats,
Mhm.
pure
Startup.
chaos. Yeah, we've done startup. I've worked with all the people,
Done all the things.
done all the things.
Done all
Worked
the
with
stuff.
all the people
Have
and
4
done all the
kids.
things.
You know,
Yeah.
do all
Guys,
that stuff.
we
I
have-
love
What
it.
do we have
do
between
do.
us? We have 7
7.
kids.
7
Yeah.
kids.
Wow.
So you got 4 and you got 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do it? How do you like?
Um,
and I
Do your
understand we've
husbands
kind
work
of.
full time
Her
as
I
well?
understand
husband's
we've
been
kinda
out of
done this,
town for
but-
like a week and a half.
Oh my
too.
gosh,
so
this
you're
is,
like
drowning.
She's
Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, I had 3 kids in 3 years. I was kind of like Lindsey. Like we didn't have kids for 5 years, and it was like I don't know. We just were like, I guess we're not having kids.
Yeah.
And then we had 1, and then we had 2 more, boom, boom, right back to back. And so I had my first right before I launched Tangible. And then I had my second right before we hit pause on Tangible, right before I went and I was recruited by a private equity company to go and help stand up a very large startup. And we grew from 72 million to 2.3 billion in 12 months. So imagine
Wait,
that
you
kind
say
of,
that again?
we
you
grew
grew-
from 72 million to 2.3 billion in just over 12 months.
What?
Yeah, that's
Can you
crazy.
say what company that is?
Yeah, I probably can. PCF.
Wow.
They're actually based here in Salt Lake. This private equity company based in San Francisco bought them, moved their headquarters from LA to here, and
Wow.
then they're based here now, and they've grown just insanely fast. They're still on that same trajectory. But imagine that kind of chaos
Yeah.
with like a 1-year-old and a brand new baby,
I
and
can't imagine
and
that
then-
with nothing on my plate.
right. And then at the
Yeah.
end of that year, or at the end of that following year, I was pregnant with another baby, and then I stepped out. We went through a transaction. I was able to essentially cash out and leave, and that's when
Yeah.
we started ShareHouse. And I was pregnant. I had like 3 months
Wow.
to go or 2 months to go
Oh my
before I had my last. So yeah, it's been crazy. How do we do it? We hire a lot of people to do all the stuff
Yeah,
we can't do. I
For
mean,
sure.
Great
Yeah, of course.
architects.
Of
right?
course.
We
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
have to. So like,
Yep.
I mean, we are very much so like the CEO at work and the CEO at home. Like that's
Yeah.
how it has to be. And so I'm
Yeah.
juggling so many people's schedules at any given moment.
Yeah.
And our husbands do work. Neither of them work like full-time 9 to 5 in an office anywhere. They both are very entrepreneurial. So my husband has his own
That helps,
businesses.
for
Yeah,
sure.
that does help.
Yeah.
Which, my husband's almost like too entrepreneurial. That's why we have all these kind of
Yeah.
these side businesses. And
love
I'm
it.
like,
So-
yeah, we've
same
got
with
one of
your
those. Yeah,
husband,
we've
too.
got
That's
one
why
of those.
you've got a North Star mentality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I
You
mean,
rein
like
'em in.
every
Dragging
day
everybody
there's a
with
new
ya.
idea. It's like, why don't we do this? Why don't we buy this? What if we did it? I'm like, oh my gosh,
You're
like,
like, come
I
on,
think
man.
we need to double down on like the things we are
Good at.
mainly focused on.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
let's take the 2 that are our best home run and let's go after those. But we do have a couple of other companies. We have an agency. We have a marketing agency that's still live and working today, and we get
Yeah.
lots of requests to work with different brands, and we just take the groups that
Feel like you can help the most.
we've definitely pick and choose, and we try to refer where we can. But that's actually in the e-commerce space as well. So it's called Wild Mustang Media, and that's an
You guys and
agency.
your cool names.
Wow.
These are so cool.
Oh man, thanks.
Ivy
love
League,
it.
Wild Mustang Media.
I don't know.
Skynet Syndicate.
Skynet
Yeah,
Syndicate.
Only
yeah.
There you
brands.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah. So what happened is I told you my husband's an avid outdoorsman. We take tons of trips, and especially before kids, we were doing lots of high adventure trips. And we would have to, buy all this specialized gear and bus everybody back to these insane locations and get all these permits and whatever else. Is really expensive to do these trips. And so
it's like Everest stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, we didn't do Everest, but yeah, there's they're like backcountry bear adventures, 30 miles canoeing back, and you're like in this super high densely populated bear country, and you have to have all this specialized gear and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And you have to pack food for a week for 15, 16 people, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had to buy all the gear, and so my husband, I think he maybe just reached out to a company, just said like, "Hey, we're doing this trip.
Can you sponsor
it? We can show your product in application. Do you want to sponsor the product?" And so it was just like a random outreach thing. And they were like, "Yeah, for sure." And then he just kept doing it. And we got like everything sponsored, all the gear. I mean, we had like 7 Yeti coolers that we were like hauling up in the mountain, up into trees to keep away from bears. And I mean, we had like all the best gear ever. And the promise was, okay, well, we'll take our cameras back there and we'll just get actual imagery of us using your products in application. It's application-based marketing.
Yep.
And it's kind of the same idea as user-generated content, right? And so we got all of the gear and on our first trip, and plus cash to just like pay for everybody to get up there and rent the canoes and pay for the hotel the night before and the food and whatever. And so then it was like this free trip for everybody. Plus we all got to like pocket a little money.
Yeah, that's the best.
And
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then that kind of like started a thing where he just like any trip he had, anything he wanted to do, any gear he wanted, he would just pitch for it. And then it was only uphill or only downhill from there. It was like he was, productizing or packaging out exactly what his offering was, and then he was planning trips around. It's like, okay, we're doing a beach trip or a summer like desert feel. We're doing winter mountainous and snow feel, so that then he could pitch ahead of time, ahead of those seasons, and say, hey, what gear do you want? And so yeah, like there are companies all over the country that have photos bigger than this wall printed out that he took. He's an amateur photographer, videographer.
That's really, really cool though.
But the content was so good because it's like in application, right? Yeah. And so there was just a need, especially because they're working with influencers. And this was maybe more at a time when influencers were like very transactional. It was like, give me the product and pay me this and I will post for you.
Yep.
But they weren't really leveraging the fact that they could say, I'll give you 10, 20 B-roll photos or videos from my, you know what I mean, to use however you'd like, and I'll charge more.
Yeah.
And so we kind of came in right in the middle of that and took that opportunity. So anyway.
That's super cool. And my background's in photography. I was a professional photographer for many years and was on a lot of very similar trips.
That's awesome.
Shooting for brands. So that it's cool and that's fun. Mm-hmm. It's super fun, especially for the people that get to shoot the content.
I do a lot of those trips, but I pay for them because I'm
now you gotta hustle.
I mean, we still pay for a lot of stuff too, but yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was really fun. You got a ton of good stuff. And so he's worked with, and I should say we, because I'm always a part of it. We've worked with DJI directly with their Chinese office. They have called us several times since. Yeti coolers, Tiva, like everybody
Tiva
had
boots,
like all the gear, Tiva, Camp Chef, Life Straw. I mean, all the directly
outdoor,
with their corporate offices in overseas, wherever. So yeah, all the top companies. And he just went after the biggest fish he could find, just went down the list. He actually, our first outreach, he pulled a list of all the people who attended outdoor retailers, and then he just contacted them one by one by one.
That's so smart.
So
I think that's a great
guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
Yes,
it is.
Totally.
And I think that's a great thing for listeners to hear, is that when you want to start something, you have to try a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like so many people, I feel like I've gone to 100 lunches where people have said, hey, how do I get something going? I want to start a business. And my initial reaction is always like, well, just go do something, like reach out to 10 brands, put them in an Excel spreadsheet and write notes on it, do something. And that's where I think LinkedIn can become very powerful too, because these brands are so accessible through LinkedIn or Instagram, and you don't even realize it. Like, how did you get in touch with those brands?
I think just
DM?
I think so. I mean,
Or finding an email
I
online.
wrote, I think he would find their email,
Yeah.
honestly, but I would write the content or the outreach emails, and then he just did all the heavy lifting.
But he just scour through outdoor
Just
retailers.
scoured it.
But that's what it takes, though, especially to land, especially for sponsorships for events.
Yeah.
Like it literally just takes you hustling to be able
Yeah.
to find who to reach out to. Because I know with, like when we did Everything Food Conference, we were reaching out to international brands like DeLonghi, like the coffee maker. I mean, we were reaching out to multi-$100 million brands to say, hey, come give us. We needed money to buy out Eccles Theater. We were the first event in there, and it was going to be like $100,000 to rent that out for like 2 days, full 2 days, the whole space.
Oh, dang.
And we were like, okay, well, we need to find all of this money, to do that, plus all this stuff. So we have to go find basically $2 million worth of sponsorship in a matter of 6 months. It's like, it just literally takes you hustling to find the right person, get the right information in front of them so they can make a decision.
I feel like Lindsey's like 2 mil. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm actually that's a nice venue. I've worked with a lot of startups where you have zero marketing budget. So
it's
every
literally
event that I've put on, even like that Cybercraft Summit, we did a range day where we had like a helicopter, we did tactical training. You don't have any money, you have to go find the money.
Yep.
And that's something, going back to what you were saying, I think the biggest advice I would give for people is like, you have to make yourself vulnerable and put yourself out there. But like, hey, I picked a date, here's a venue, I'm doing this. And that really just lights a fire under you. Like, you have to figure it out. You booked the stadium. You have to come up with $100,000. So figure it out. You have to. It takes a lot of hustle. But if you hold yourself accountable, and I think even that social aspect of like LinkedIn's holding you accountable now. You 100%. Put it out to the universe. Like, you have to figure out how to do it now.
Yeah. And I think that that's something that
it's powerful.
Totally. Yeah. And I've struggled with that, where I'll put something out there on the internet and think, oh no, now I have to go and actually accomplish
That's exactly what you should do.
But for example, I tried to run a 100-mile race, and I had trained all summer. I put it out there publicly, and then my brother, who's a videographer, was like, I'll film the whole thing. So now there's this pressure while I'm sitting there running, and I ended up getting injured at mile 52. So I swam halfway around the lake and then turned around, like it was just terrible. And it made me feel like, oh, I totally failed. And then I cut my hair.
Then he cut his hair, and then he's like, I'm going to reinvent myself.
But you cut your superpower. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know I did. I cut my superpower. But,
he's Simpson. He's Simpson in disguise.
In the world of entrepreneurship, like, you are going to fail. It's a
for sure.
guarantee. And, you guys have both had experiences where at Tangible, COVID hit, you had to refund 1,000 students. And then now you're on this massive trajectory with ShareHouse in a great direction. You're venture backed. Like, what a positive outcome. And I think that is how the universe works, how the world works. It's going to be really hard. You got to put yourself out there and commit to something. There will be failures, but with every failure, comes your next opportunity.
But you may as well work hard and fail. Like, if that makes sense. Like, you may as well give it your all and fail, because then it's like, at least you knew you gave it your all and it wasn't like something else. That's at least how I've always felt about it. It's like, at least I really tried.
Half-assed failure is not failure. It's just you gave up.
Well, the thing that you're saying there is kind of interesting, because this is what I found for myself. Just think of everything you learned from trying.
100%.
I think there's that's better than some college educations out there.
Oh my gosh.
So it's not really failure if you put that into perspective. It's like, you had to figure out how to do something you didn't know how to do before.
Exactly.
So that's where it kind of comes around. It's like, there's been so many times where I have done things I've never done before. I had no idea if they were going to work out. Some of them didn't work out. It's super awesome.
I mean, Accelerate, right? A first-year thing. You had no idea.
Yeah, and I was pulled into that kind of last minute. So I hats go off to Emily and to the crew there. So they pulled it off, and I was like, okay, I'll just be in the background on the marketing. But yeah, for sure, for something like that, they just had to that was massive. They were extremely successful. on that side. But for my own experience, and Madelyne can speak to this even on the tangible side, you are doing something. So I have a big belief in like failure. We're actually potentially planning a conference around this.
You've probably got a million conference ideas at this point between the two of you. I love
know. I had an idea a while back to do a fail fest. Like there's the Start Fest.
Oh,
yeah,
the celebration of failure. Because that's where we really grow and we learn and we
people don't talk. First of all, entrepreneurs don't talk about it because it's not sexy to talk about it.
Oh, we're gonna make it sexy.
Yeah, I like it.
There's gonna be like a therapy session.
Well, and what a great thing
I like
to
it.
do.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
that's a great thing to do for e-commerce brands, to make them not fear that.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's what you did a lot of on the tangible side.
For anyone, really, like there is so much value in feeling like there's nowhere to go but up, and I think that the only way you can feel that is if you are absolutely at rock bottom.
Yeah, if you've hit that low.
And I have felt that. I've been there. That's like where I come from. And but it definitely made me who I am and helped me to take those chances, move to LA when I was 18, move to New York and do big things because I had nothing else to lose. I didn't have anything to lose. Absolutely nothing.
If you mind me asking, what was your rock bottom?
My family, my parents went through a very messy divorce when I was 15. And my mom and my siblings and we were homeless for a time. My mom couldn't afford food. We didn't have cars. We didn't have phones. Nothing.
Yeah.
And so, that was very difficult, but there is so much value that can come from actually experiencing what it feels like to have nothing more to lose.
Yeah.
And so, if everyone could feel that, or even just, get into that headspace, you'd do anything. Right?
Yeah,
it's like, I might as well try. I might as well move to New York. I have no money.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like whatever, it'll work out. I'll find somewhere to sleep. I've done that before. Like I've done that before, sleeping in random people's houses. There's your corner. That's your box. That's
wow.
You can. Anyway, there's a lot to. If you could just get over that, if everyone just could get over that, like I'm gonna lose something. Like what are you gonna lose? What are you going to lose from trying? Nothing. You're not going to lose anything. A little time, but you're going to gain some relationships. You're going to gain some experience.
Yep.
It's trajectory, right? I think there's a quote by Jay Shetty that says, failures are only failures when we don't learn from them, because when we learn from them, they're called lessons.
Yes.
And I think that's a very profound way for entrepreneurs to look at their journeys is you're going to have low points, and there might be a conference that doesn't work out or a startup that doesn't work out, but ultimately you learn from that and look at what it's turned you into now. It's put you together into a venture-backed business where only 5% of businesses are 5% of female-owned businesses get venture-backed or something like that. I don't know.
I don't look at any of those female stats.
But I think it's you're
like,
cool.
We're just gonna destroy everything.
We don't have to. I don't know that we subscribe to much of that, to be honest with you.
To that narrative,
definitely we're female founded and run and venture backed and all of that, but I didn't know that I subscribe to a lot of the like female narratives around like women make less money, because I come from nothing, and I had to fight to get to where I am, and I feel like have been plenty of opportunities where I'm the most paid person there, because I bring the most value and because I advocate for myself.
For sure.
Women don't do that enough, but I'm not going to, I don't know. We're not subscribing to that, but yes.
I absolutely love that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, to wrap this up, cause I know you guys have to get going. I think we've talked a lot about ShareHouse, what ShareHouse is, and then who you are as a brand. Where do you guys go from here? What's next for ShareHouse? And what do you see the next few years looking like?
Yeah, going back to our North Star, we want to be the e-commerce authority. And so we need to continue to align with the right people and the right things so that we attract the right people and the right things. And so that's what we're doing. We're just going to continue productizing what it is that ShareHouse is. and build out that offering and try to plug into e-commerce brands in the best way that we can. We're also providing, services and promotional opportunities for vendors and service providers too. So we kind of have these two communities that sit side by side and that we are catering to in different ways. And so we just only see that growing
Very cool.
and growing out far and wide outside of the state. And we're very excited about where it's going.
And then on the
awesome.
Lindsey Ivy side, I know we're gonna expect cool things.
There's
gonna be a lot of
there's gonna be a lot of crazy stuff.
Pancake breakfast,
I
guerrilla
know.
marketing.
We're doing the Disney trip with e-commerce
Yeah, I
founders.
saw that.
Oh,
That
yeah.
looked pretty
next
cool.
month. So we're taking 20 to 25 e-commerce founders to Disney for a day with Levi. He actually came to us with that idea, so we're like, yes.
Yeah.
So
So
We're
cool.
in-
I thought about
Always with
starting
the-
an e-commerce
always with
brand
the
just to
crazy
go. but-
ideas.
I know. There's a lot of interest in that. So
Yeah.
we just have some really fun ideas. It's gonna continue doing the unboxing videos or undressing and
Yeah.
building the consumer side and other groups like that, and really becoming the trusted advisor in the space, where the brand owners feel comfortable coming to us and asking us like to make those connections for them and just being that resource for everyone.
And without you guys being unique, right? Like if you don't have these unique approaches, brands will not ever think to reach out,
be
right? They're
attracted
like,
to it. Yeah.
that's
for sure.
cool. You have these structures and these systems, but what's cooler is, man, what a unique approach you took. I know that I can turn to you as an advocate, as a trusted advisor. And I think that that's a really cool approach you're taking with
And they can learn even better ideas that they've never come up with because you're the creative powerhouse,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we have this service provider technology team vendors community. We have the brand community that we're building, but we're also building a consumer community. I mean, if you think about the Only Brands unboxings, that's not meant to be for the service providers.
It's meant to be for D2C.
It's meant to be to attract a full consumer audience. And so eventually we hope that the brands will come to us, run to us, because they have a new product that they're launching, a new company that they're launching, and we have a fully built-in consumer audience that loves to participate in this content that's funny and entertaining, and also gives them access to cool products.
Yeah.
Cool product companies that are doing big things that they may not know about. So
Yeah. I love that. Well, we really appreciate the time today. It was super
Yeah.
fun chatting,
Thanks.
hearing about your story and everything. Where can people find out more about ShareHouse? Connect with you, Lindsey. Connect with you, Madelyne.
So sharehouse.com would be a good place to start. We have a Slack channel, and we can give it to you to link as well,
Cool.
so people can join our community. which
I'm
you
in
just
it.
You're in.
Yeah.
You can join through the website, and then I'm Lindsey Ivy. I'm wearing a
Awesome.
hat
On
on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
so
Awesome.
if that helps.
Yep. Same as me, Madelyne Van Hoff on LinkedIn. And you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and on the web.
Oh, we have an onlybrands.us if you that people can join as well
Cool.
on Instagram and TikTok. So.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
really excited.
following that.
I'm just more
Yeah.
excited to see more of Levi in
Yes.
a robe.
I can't
know?
wait. You're gonna get more creators too, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we were gonna pull John on the initial ones, but I'm like, that could be a little too sexy. So
We need to establish this first as like a friendly
So we
brand.
didn't want to get
Hair.
banned from like the first video.
Yeah.
So
You have content guidelines.
Yes,
Oh, that's
exactly.
hilarious.
Have you met John?
Yeah. Well, great.
Thanks so much, you guys.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
fun to be
appreciate
with
it.
you.
Yeah,
No,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming on.